Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Football United TV. This is the Premier League weekend show. And now it's time for that famous intro. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's show. It's been a bit of a weird one. Football this weekend, that is. But Billy, how we doing, mate?
I could never be worse. Could never be worse, mate.
Oh, right. Well, you know, that's what it is all about. So, sometimes things goes our way, sometimes things don't go our way, and sometimes things happen out of the blue when you don't expect it. But when I say blue, I don't mean Chelsea blue. But before we start tonight's show, I'm just going to bring up who we're sponsored by, GalaxioKicks.com. This is a company that sponsors this show. Basically, if you haven't got anything to do, just go online, type GalaxioKits.com in, have a look at their kits. I mean, the prices are quite, they're within budget. They're a good price range. It's got today's kits, this season kits, and going back some. Also, it has some of the old vintage kits as well, the retro stuff. Everybody likes a bit of retro. Everybody likes a bit of retro. Even me, I like the old retro kits every now and then. But yeah, I mean, they're good, authentic. The price is good. Just give them a whirl. Just give them a shout. Anyway, let's go on to our first topic. All right. Excuse me, Bill. Let me just have a drink.
It's fine, mate. You may be excused. You can leave the room if you'd like. Does not bother me. I will say the scoreline. Brentford 2, Chelsea 0. Not in that order, actually. Funny enough, it was at Stamford Bridge, believe it or not. Third season in a row, they've beaten us at our home ground. Yes, I've said that correct, sorry. 3 seasons in a row, Chelsea have been beaten at home to Brentford. On top of that, I think statistically speaking, I read this thing online. It may not be true. If it is, it will not surprise me. Brentford have, in the last 7 months, Brentford have got more points at Stamford Bridge than Chelsea have. I will repeat that for the viewers because there are probably a couple of you going, what? Sorry, I can't believe what I just heard there. Brentford have got more points at Stamford Bridge than Chelsea have in the last 7 months. If I'm being completely honest, it's disgusting and appalling. I love my club. I love my manager. I love the players. But I cannot support what I witnessed yesterday. It's plain and simple. I think Poch should be having a serious evaluation of what has gone on. Off the back of Anthony's leaving. Even he can't believe what he's reading. Look, I'm gonna say it out his. We saw it at the start of the season with Liverpool. We drew against them. We played very well. Then we go and get smacked up 3-1 by West Ham. And it appears to happen again. Similar as well. The first half against West Ham, we played quite well. Same with Brentford. We didn't actually play. Scoreline says differently. We didn't actually play that bad. But then you've got the likes of we play Arsenal. We play very well for 77 minutes. Get a draw, and then we go and lose to Brentford again. So it's a bit of a repetition. I'm bored of saying it. And I think it is utterly appalling to be at home and lose to Brentford 3 times in a row, 3 years in a row, 3 seasons in a row. Anthony, take it away.
Well, obviously, well, as we can tell, but you're not very happy. But I mean, all I got to do is how Chelsea's been playing and what Poch has been doing with this Chelsea team. Like the last few games, you said you've been playing brilliant football, fantastic on and off the ball. The passes have been good. The play around the 18-yard box is improved because obviously you're scoring goals. Strikers, other players apart from strikers have been getting on the end of the ball and scoring goals. With this one, do you know what? I had this scoreline, but it was the other way. It was actually 2-0 to you. I predicted. So I don't know. I mean, if you was Poch now, what would you do? If you're Poch, you've just played Brentford, you've lost 2-0, what would you do? Would you feel that you're going back down in a spiral again? Would you be looking over your shoulder to thinking, blimey, is my time, is it that much coming towards an end as being a manager here, or what? I don't know, Bill. What do you think?
I don't think Poch has to worry about his job.
No.
I say that confidently. I think with Potter, I think it was a completely different ball game. Potter's never really dealt with big egos. Do you know what I mean? He was in the 3rd division of Swedish football. Then he went to Brighton. He did phenomenally well. But I've said this time and time again on this stream. I've said it on every stream I've been on. I've said it on every TikTok I've made. Brighton are just a catfish club. You know that really attractive girl on Tinder? You swipe yes, you have a chat with her, you go and meet her. It's a completely different person. That's like Brighton with their players and managers. They look phenomenal. They go to a different team. They're completely different players. So with Potter, I think he was out of his depth slightly. I still supported him. I still think we sacked him potentially too early to see what kind of project we could have potentially made with him. But I think Bowley saw with Poch that he's dealt with the bigger egos. He took Kane under his wing, the likes of Dele Alli when he was actually PFA Young Player of the Year. Players like that he dealt with, Ericsson, Kyle Walker. Then he went to PSG. It was definitely a bit of a shock that he lost the league there, but I still think that he's capable of turning this club around. And I mean from top to bottom as well, not just on the pitch.
No.
But I definitely think that Poch in the training on the training ground, wherever he needs to tell every single player that this is just not good enough. We have the likes of Reece James and many others being injured consistently through seasons. So Poch needs to potentially look at that. I'm not blaming injuries for 1 minute. We have 3 starting 11s that are good enough to be playing a good game against Brentford. No disrespect to Brentford. I think that Chelsea are a team that could smack Brentford up. I'm not saying completely like a 3-0 whitewash, but I definitely think that Chelsea have the capabilities to go and beat Brentford comfortably at home. But it's just one of those things. I don't think Poch has to worry. It's upsetting, but at the end of the day, it's just one of those things.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm just going to hit comments because they're all coming through. So what I'll do, you mentioned about Tinder. So what I'll do, I'll swipe left, and here's the first comment. Right?
Transitions, love it, Anthony.
Brush is in. Big up, Brush, and thanks for tuning in, mate. Thanks for tuning in. King TV's in. Thanks for tuning in as well. He's saying big up all. Big up to yourself as well. Then King TV goes on to say Brentford are on fire. Pochettino out. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue Brentford are on fire, but I definitely think. I think. Sorry, just quickly with another rant about this. Abramovich installed a very short-sighted, weak mindset for the club and the fans when he came in. Di Matteo won the Champions League. The next season, he got sacked after winning the Champions League. That was the sort of expectation we had as fans, and that's what we have installed in ourselves as fans of the football club. And I think that I'm one of the fans that I want to see a manager do well, and in order to do well, you have to give them time. Arteta at Arsenal, Anthony, you can speak more eloquently than I can on the subject, but he finished eighth. He would have been sacked by Chelsea when he finished 8th the first time round. let alone doing it the second time. But look at the project he's got now. He's cooking with youngsters, and do you know what I mean? You almost won the Premier League last season.
Yeah.
So
no, he did, yeah.
So I definitely think that there's a project that I like to see, and I think Poch can be at the head of that.
Yeah, he's just what you're saying. He's there now. I think with this season under Poch, where Chelsea finish, you've just got to look at it as a bonus, and then obviously from next season go on to there. He's building, he's trying to set out. He's got some of the foundations there. It's like if you build an extension on the back of a house, you've got your base bed there. You've just got to bring in the right players to build it all up. You will eventually get there, but it's like with these managers now, they don't seem to have a lot of time, especially at your club, Chelsea. They're in 1 minute and out the next. They've just got to keep all of this guy. And I think, within a couple of seasons, I think it won't surprise me with the money you've got there spending, you can get champion. At least that's the first thing. You want Champions League football.
Yeah.
And that's it. We're just going to go on for the rest of the comments. Geordie, big up to you, mate. Haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're well. He says, howdy the lads. Yes. And then disappointing for both Chelsea and us.
Oh, sorry. I want to ask Geordie in the comments here.
Yeah.
Geordie, if you're still here, mate, please let me know how your feelings are towards this Tonali situation. I actually deeped it the other day and actually thought about it. You've lost a player that you've just signed for 60 odd million, and you've lost him for 10 months because for betting bans. Please let me know in the comments how you feel about that. It's
a bit like an Ivan Toney, isn't it? That sort of obviously that sort of thing. So, but yeah, obviously Matt's in. We've already spoke to Matt. God, we got to educate these Matts, haven't we, Billy? Come on, we said it before the stream started. He's saying it, Geordie at welcome. And then Geordie replies back to him and says, Frank, bro. Then Matt goes on and says what you said, Tinder Club. But I did swipe left and went straight onto the comments. Billy enjoyed that, actually. We got a poll in. He said 4 votes in the poll so far. Team of the weekend. Brentford at 60 points. 60 points, 60%. Arsenal at 40%. Liverpool and Man City at 0%. Get your votes in. People, if you haven't got your votes in, get them in, and I will call them out before the end of the show and see who wins. Long-haired Yeti. Yeah, hey, he's in. Big up, Anthony, buddy. Big up, mate. Yeti. Shame about your team, mate. Shame about your team. But then again, they're not a bad team, Forest. Obviously, he's not a Forest fan. I feel for Yeti, but I feel they're sort of like weaving in and out Forest at the minute. They'll be fine this season. They won't get relegated at all. They do play really well good football, and when they show up, they do show up. We played them, first game of the season, and we just managed to scrape past them and beat them 2-1. But mind you, a certain Mikel Arteta did play our DM Thomas Partey at right back. So
with Forest and Long-haired Yeti's definitely going to speak about this better. I think when they first came in and they signed like 60 players, something ridiculous, we thought it was going bust up. Then it didn't. But a couple of these signings they made, transfer window just gone. Alanga, Hudson-Odoi, Sambi Lokonga, all young ballers who have a lot of potential and I think can cook well at Forest.
Yeah. No, yeah. If he's in, he'll answer your question. He'll definitely answer your question. Matt goes on and says 6. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, brilliant. Bring that back up, Andy.
6 votes in so far in the poll. Team of the weekend. Brentford at 50%. Arsenal at 50% as well. 50-50. Liverpool and Man City both at 0%.
I think that's madness. If you haven't already, guys, please vote on the poll who you think your team of the weekend is.
I suppose you haven't voted yet, Bill, or you may have. I don't know.
I have.
Yeah. So at Long-haired Yeti's Cave, welcome, mate. That's it. Matt saying welcome. He's saying shocking today, mate, until we was 3-0 down. Yeah, it was, mate. It was. I actually predicted a Liverpool win, but 2-1 Liverpool. Yeah. I thought Forest was really going to give them a game. We grabbed some quality, and it just takes. Yeah, it'll take time, mate. But you're there roundabouts anyway. Right, then Matt goes on and says 8 votes so far in the poll. Team of the weekend, Brentford at 62, Arsenal at 38. Liverpool and Man City both 0%. Get your votes in. Let's get over 10. Okay, let's get over 10. Right, so that's it for the comments. There's nothing else you want to say on this game before we go on to the next one, is it?
I don't want to speak anymore on the subject, if I'm honest. I think it's painful for me, especially. Anthony, you're loving life. No wonder. But it's one of those things. And please move on very quickly.
Please move on very quickly. Okay, right. We're going to go onto this game. Yes! Get in! Get in! Right, Arsenal 5, Sheffield United 0. Eddie Nketiah hat-trick. I'm going to start on this one. Do you know what? I actually predicted, because we had an injury. Jesus is out injured. Apparently he's going to be, I read a month, 4 weeks, but it could even take longer because there's an old injury that he sustained going back a few years ago is come up again. So I think we're going to be not seeing him until about a lengthy, period of time. I think about the first time he got that injury was he was out for about 2 months, I think, something like that, 2 to 3 months. But listen, I mean, I'm not a fan of Mikel Arteta, as you know, because certain players that he signed in, one particular player that he signed in this season, your ex-player, Kai Havertz, I don't know what that's all about. But I predicted this game 3-0, and it was 5-0. I mean, goals from, I will say the last 2 goals from Tomiyasu and a very good friend of mine who was on the stream with us from Gunners of All Corners, Luca, a.k.a. Fabio Vieira. He scored. But then, out of the blue, this is what I was saying, and Eddie Nketiah hat-trick. Now, I've been on this guy's case, Eddie Nketiah, for some time now. And I've said he's not at the standard of what we need at this football club, at Arsenal Football Club. And he's not. I still say he's not the standard. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is Sheffield United. I think they're still I don't even recall. Have they won a game yet this season, Sheffield United?
I don't even think they have, if I'm
honest. No, I don't think they have. I think he's
got to win.
Yeah, I mean, Bournemouth won their first game, didn't they? This season, they won their first game. So it's Sheffield United. I think Luton may have won a game as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Luton beat Everton 1-0.
They did, yeah. So it's Sheffield United that hasn't won a game yet. So, but look, I mean, I've been on this guy's case, Eddie Nketiah. It's Sheffield United. I'm not going to get excited about it, but listen, it was a good result and fair play to him. I give credit where credit is due, and I will give Eddie Nketiah credit for this. I'm coming out and saying all the positives because, I mean, obviously, I got to get this right. This guy here, he's going to see some. He's obviously going to see some. But yeah, I'm happy with the result. I mean, fair play for Eddie Nketiah scoring the hat-trick. I just hope he can take this into the next game, the league game, because we have got Newcastle United next game. And if he plays well and he gives 100% on the pitch, if he gets an assist or even if he scores a goal, I'll be happy. I'll be getting off his back. But I mean, at the minute, his stats ain't that great. I mean, it's 5 goals he has scored over the last part of last season to this season is 5 goals in 31 games. So it's not really a striker's record, is it? I mean, maybe I'm a bit too old-fashioned thinking that striker's job is to score, which I still believe, is their job to score goals. But yeah, that's enough for me. Bill, what did you think of this game? And Eddie Nketiah hat-trick.
I mean, look, I cannot stand the fact that Anthony's sitting here smiling, saying that he's so happy about his team winning, because I don't know what that feels like. But what I will say is Nketiah, I adore, even as a Chelsea fan. I think he's such a great young striker. I think Anthony is so harsh, and I think all these Arsenal fans are so narrow-minded on Nketiah. I think, for me, Nketiah is probably one of the best backup strikers in the league. If you're looking for someone to come on or rely on when your striker's injured, I remember last season it was United at the Emirates. Who else stepped up in that game apart from Nketiah to score the winning goal? Nketiah deserves his roses from Arsenal fans, and I think they're too harsh on him. I predicted a 2-1 win to Arsenal. I didn't think it was going to be close, but I definitely expected a bit more of a fight from Sheffield. I thought with the Jesus injury, I wasn't sure how they were going to feel, potentially missing their main number 9, but it seemed to work out fine. And I think when you lose your striker, it's definitely good to come up against Sheffield United in the next fixture. When Jesus is back, it's looking at more like the Wolves game or the Luton game. So I'm sure Anthony's going to be comfortable bringing Jesus back in that time. But yeah, I just think that Arsenal are definitely one of these teams that you can't sleep on. And I think it's very difficult for any team in the lower half of the table to come up against them. I think I must admit, this whole goal record, 5 in 31 or whatever, I think it's quite poor. When you look at your front line, Martinelli, he got double figures last season. Saka, he got double figures last season. You got Odegaard, he was on, what was he on, 9? Maybe even double figures again?
No, he scored, Saka and Odegaard was on 15. Martinelli was on 15 as well, so that was 15 each. And Jesus finished on 12 because he was partly out injured, wasn't he? So
so look, in my opinion, I think when you've got that front four, including your central attacking midfielder, I definitely think that you don't have to worry about Nketiah scoring goals as long as he links up the play and provides the support for Saka, Odegaard, and Martinelli. I don't think there's a reason why you need to rely on Nketiah for the goals. You are definitely old school in your mindset of strikers need to score goals, but Jesus isn't a traditional number 9. He drifts out wide. He helps out and supports more than he does score goals. And it may not say that in his statistically, he's probably got more goals than assists, but I definitely think that you don't have to try and stress as much over Nketiah's goal record when you have a combined goal record of like 45 from your other 4 attacking players.
Yeah. No, it's true. No, I have looked at it that way. I mean, it is nice that we are, we're not relying on one particular person to score our goals, if you know what I mean, like a 20, 25 goals a season. Obviously we're breaking it up between the 4, mainly the 4 players plus Eddie that, that does pop up here and there in score. I just feel like, it's just nice to have a goal scorer, actually a leading goal scorer, from a striker's point of view. So, it's just one of those. It's really nice to see. But then when you break that down, you're scoring goals differently all over the pitch. Don't get me wrong, it is nice, and it's nice to see because there's your team is doing something right. But I mean, I still feel like, to me, I still want that certain particular goal scorer up front. I just like that. But that's my own opinion. That is my own opinion. I do love strikers that can score 20 plus goals a season. I really do. But that's the way how it is. Was I happy with this game? Well, who wouldn't have been? I got. It's like what I said. I got to give Nketiah credit. He's going to be, well, we got West Ham in the cup in the middle of the week, so he might be featuring in that game. He's obviously definitely going to be featuring in the Newcastle game next weekend. Yeah, I mean, it's like what I said. I mean, I touched on his name. I'll bring his name up again. Kai Havertz. I mean, a really poor Sheffield United team. He wasn't really doing anything, obviously throughout the game. I mean, I think he was poor for a team against Sheffield United that hasn't won a game yet this season. I mean, you most probably would have thought Emes probably would maybe assist or maybe, well, at least scored a goal. But obviously he hasn't, and that's it. But it is all time will tell. But I'm lost with Kai Havertz. I don't know what to say about him anymore. Apart from I'm not really happy. I mean, I'll be happy if you lot had him back personally, Bill. But
we'll keep the 65 million. Thank you.
Okay.
You keep Havertz. I saw Arsenal fans when you signed him wearing a King Kai shirt. How does that make you feel as an Arsenal fan?
No shit, really shit. Why would you? Why I wouldn't even waste fucking money on it. Yeah. You know, to have it done. Why King Kai? What's that all about?
It's just the hype thing, isn't it? I think Arsenal signing a player for 65 million doesn't sound a lot coming from a Chelsea fan, but everyone else in the Premier League, that sounds like a lot of money. And I think that we're looking at a potential massive howler from Arteta and the Arsenal team to pay 65 million for that.
Yeah. Well, 65 million is a bag of shit. If we were, do you know what? If we were to sell him, like, let's say if we did something like, let's say at the end of this season, right? I guarantee you what we paid for him, we wouldn't even get. We'd be lucky to get half of 32.5 million. We'd be lucky to get 32.5 million for him. Seriously. But that's what it is. Let's go back to comments a sec. Long Yeti, easy game, but did you you did what you needed to do. Big respect to Nketiah. He finally turned up and earned his 100k a week. Yeah, exactly, Yeti. You know, this is another man. Yeah, long-haired Yeti, this is another man that talks facts. AFC always big up, mate, and welcome to the show. Havertz had no impact in the whole game. He must feel very disappointed in himself against a very poor Sheffield United side. Yeah, that was exactly what I was just getting at, what I just said. Matt goes on to say, AFC always welcome, mate. Long-haired Yeti. Havertz was shocking this game. He needed to show something, and he didn't. He didn't, mate. He was absolutely piss poor. Piss poor. Right, who's the other one as well? And then Long-haired Yeti goes on to say Rice was not playing to him. It was evident that, and that's bad. Yeah, it is. I mean, you won't pass to him. I to be honest with you, I don't even know why he's in the team. Don't even know why he's in the team. Havertz to me is a player that got to be on the bench. I would say if you're 3-0 up, let's play it safe. 3-0 up with like 20 minutes to go, then introduce Kai Havertz onto the pitch. Seriously, you know that he could be. Well, I was going to say super sub, but he ain't even that, is he? Absolute waste of time. Is there anything else you want to touch on this game, Bill, before we go on to the next one?
Yeah, I with the Havertz thing, I think Havertz is a moments player. We saw it in the Champions League final. We saw it with you lot against City. I don't know if he got the actual assist, but he was definitely part of the playmaking up to that goal for Arsenal. And Havertz is definitely one of their moments players, and I think that's what you sort of pay for. He can turn up when it matters, but I just think that you didn't need that. You didn't. I think Arsenal did need that, in the sense that they need those sorts of players like Rice to, like in the Chelsea game, he scored that goal. He told everyone to wait the fuck up and get on with that game.
Yeah.
And overall, we saw that. And I think maybe another one of them may have done, but not a moments player like Havertz. And especially like a comment coming up from Carl Rossi. He says that getting a club to agree with his wages would be miraculous alone. And I'd agree the wages of him are completely ridiculous. And that's one of the reasons why we sold him. Same with Jorginho, only for 10 million. So, yeah, I think it's just one of those things.
Yeah. Right. Matt goes on and says 10 minutes left onto the poll. Get yours in now. Next one is player of the weekend. Yes. Well, I've actually just I put my voted in, in that. I'm sorry, Bill, but who do you reckon I voted for?
You said Brentford player, mate. I'm coming off.
I actually voted Brentford for the team. Yeah. Something says Nketiah, great striker, 3 goals in 30 games. Yeah, I would say exactly what I was saying. Exactly.
I've already debunked that. You're not expecting goals from Nketiah when you've got 15 in Saka, 15 in or 12 in Martinelli, and 15 from Odegaard. What, you expect another 15, 20 from Nketiah or Jesus? Jesus, yes. Nketiah is still inexperienced, in my opinion, who's still young enough to prove that he's got what it takes to perform at that level. He has shown that he's got the potential to perform at that level. Yeah. I just think to jump on his back so early, I think it's just ludicrous, in my opinion, with Nketiah.
Yeah, and then long-haired Yeti goes on and say, pay Arsenal 65 million for Eddie Nketiah.
We paid 32 for Jackson, but I would consider that offer.
Well, you most probably would. You might be getting obviously you might be getting a better player. I don't know, but Jordy goes on and goes, mate, Milan industry knew what was that? Knew this, I think, before the transfer. 10 months ban is very disappointing. Hope he recovers, but I think I've heard rumours about us replacing him with McTominay.
That's so disrespectful to Tonali to say that you'll replace him with McTominay. McTominay couldn't fill the boots of Tonali.
Actually, I'll be honest with you, but McTominay hasn't been back. He's been playing. Do you know what? He's been playing well for international level as well. He's been scoring quite a lot of goals for Scotland as well. McTominay. There's a lot of Man United fans are debating whether they like him, whether they don't like it. To me, with McTominay, it's a split 50-50 decision. I guarantee you get 100 Man United fans. You ask them about McTominay, and I guarantee you half of them like him, and the other half of them don't. If Matt is still watching, put your comment in there. And actually, Matt, why don't you give us your opinion on McTominay if you're still there? That's a striker's job. Yes, it is. Jordy, Brace. And then we got Cole Rossi in. Cole Rossi, big up, mate. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for watching as well, mate. And then we go on. Long-hair Getty. If you had a striker, you would be better chance again. Yeah, if you had a striker, yeah, you would be.
I'm just agreeing with that.
Yeah,
but we have got strikers. I just think that.
Well, yeah, you have got strikers, but I mean, what you got? You got Jackson. You got, is it Brozier? Brozier. Yeah, they're not really, not really that. I mean, time will most probably tell. I mean, depends if Poch brings in different players, involves a style of play. If you've got good consistency and balancing your team, that's the main key. That was what Arsene Wenger always did and settled on with Arsenal, knowing that he was bringing in cheap players, selling them on to make a profit, and then bringing in other players to replace these players in certain areas. At least Wenger was good at that. It's spotting talent. That's the only thing I will say with Arsene Wenger he was good at. Kai Havertz managed to remain anonymous as an attacking player during a 5-0 battering against one of the worst sides I've ever seen. Says it all. It does, mate. Carl, it does. Absolutely, it is shocking, mate. Well, there we go. Long-hair Yeti says it all. Shocking. And then he goes up and says, big up Yeti, mate. Of the real. Well, we are the realists. We are the realists. What we think of our team, we are the realists. Getting the club to agree to his wages would be miraculous alone. What's that? We're stuck with the four until until his contract runs out. But I tell you something now, I guarantee you we won't get the money that we've paid for him, and we'd be lucky to get half the money we've paid for him. That's 32.5 million. I'm telling you that now. We won't. I don't even think we'll get half. Striker is there to score goals. What are you talking about? Yeah. That's
long-haired Yeti, right? I mean this with respect. There is a striker isn't there to score goals anymore. It's not just about scoring goals with strikers. We've seen it with Benzema. When Ronaldo was there, Benzema was the striker, but was he scoring goals? No. He was assisting Ronaldo. He was dropping deeper. Nketiah doesn't need to score goals when you have the likes of Saka, Martinelli, and Odegaard around you. So a striker's job isn't just scoring goals anymore. It used to be, yes, but it's a completely different game.
Yeah, it is. Cole Rossi then goes on to say this is obviously about Eddie Nketiah. He's 24 years old, or Kai is one of it. He's on about. He's old enough for us now to all know he is shit. Good showing for his Sheffield United. And he is as good as he's obviously on about Kai Havertz there. The narrative about certain players being young is an excuse to forgive shit performances. Doesn't cut it at the club. the size of Arsenal. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And to be honest with you, you're right about the age as well. You know, it's absolutely rubbish. And I don't know what it is. I think some fans of certain teams, whether you're a fan of the same team or like a neutral or whatever, this is what I'm saying. Some people comes up with, we call them excuses or whatever, but everybody's entitled to opinion. But I always say, if you got an opinion, then just say it. People might not agree with it. It's tough. People might not agree with my opinion about, you know, Kai Havertz and Eddie Nketiah, but you know, that's it. And talking about Eddie Nketiah, yeah, long in it, yeah, Nketiah is trash. Yeah, he is trash. I agree with you, mate. In my opinion, well, this is Matt now. In my opinion, McTominay is a bench player for United. That is all. But yeah, I mean, he's a good player to come up. He's a good, hard-working player in that defensive well, he's a defensive midfielder, I think, but he does that box to box. You know, McTominay, he can work box to box, which he does it quite well, in all fairness. I say with respect, a striker is a goal scorer. Exactly, mate. And then Jordy goes on to say, obviously, mate, spot on. Striker has lots of roles other than scoring goals. So Jordy agrees with you there, Billy. The clue is in the name striker. Yeah, that's right. If a striker ain't here to score goals, then I give up. And exactly, well, he says exactly, Carl. I do really agree with that. I'm going to go on to the next one now. It says 11 votes so far in the poll. The team of the weekend is Brentford at 55%, Arsenal at 45%, Liverpool and Man City was at 0%. Wow, that's not surprising, really. Not surprising at all. Right, let's get on with the other topic. The Manchester Derby, Manchester United 0, Manchester City 3. Do you know what? I think I watched maybe just up to about an hour because I had to go out. And I think by then, Man City was winning 1-0 at halftime, wasn't it, with the Haaland penalty.
Yeah.
And then he popped up, he scored again, I believe. And I think Foden got the winner to obviously to wrap it all up to make it 3. I mean, it pinged up on my phone. I got to be honest with you, I haven't watched any goals this weekend. I know it's real shit to say it, but it's true. I haven't even watched one of Eddie Nketiah's goals. And I'll be honest with you. Until later on, I'll most probably watch Match of the Day 2 later on tonight when it's all on there. But Billy, I mean, I predicted 3-1 Man City win. We did this on the Man United agenda, didn't we? I can't remember what scoreline you predicted on this one. Was it? Did you predict a Man United win?
I predicted a 2-2.
2-2, yeah.
I thought City were going to be 2-1 up for most of the game, and then United come back and score a late equaliser to draw the game. But it was just complete and utter destruction from City.
Yeah, it was. It was, yeah. It didn't surprise me, but listen, Man United. What's going wrong there? What's your thoughts on Man United? And you know, is there any future here? I mean, there was going back. I think it was about 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago? I mean, I heard a slight rumor that Ten Hag's job might be on the line. You know, I heard that going back about 6 weeks ago. I mean, is there a possibility that his job could be under threat, knowing that the position that Man United's in? I mean, what's your opinion on them? The players, the manager, the whole thing.
In my opinion, I think Ten Hag's been one of the most overrated managers to come in. I think he had a very lucky last season. He did well, but unfortunately, we've seen it now. He hasn't got what it takes. In my opinion, I don't think Ten Hag's good enough, and I'll say that with an open mind that he can change it if he'd like to. But I don't think I've seen enough from Ten Hag to warrant me to think that his job wouldn't be on the line. I think that United are clearly having some crisis similar to Chelsea. I just think that potentially Ten Hag's got that extra season in the bank that with Ten Hag doing so well last season, it will warrant him another season at most.
Yeah, most probably would. I just feel that, things are going wrong at Man United at the minute. I mean, people are saying that Anthony is rubbish. They got this problem with between the Ten Hag, the manager, and Sancho. People are saying Rashford is not in form at the minute. I've heard Man United fans say that as well. Their new striker, we don't know. I know he's young. He's 20. You've got to give him time, haven't you? Coming into the fastest league in the world, you have got to give that player time. So you can't exactly pinpoint at him. But yeah, I mean, the problems are, I think Martinez, their centre back, he's out for a while. I think. Oh, and the goalkeeper, there was stories about him. Obviously, from Man United fans, some Man United fans didn't like him. They're thinking, why did they get rid of David De Gea instead of bringing Oana? I don't know, but there's all rumours and speculations going around Manchester United. Even the takeover as well. I mean, it's not our business to discuss this and that, but it all seems to be stemming up on Manchester United at the minute. You know, I mean, obviously, if you're a Man United fan, okay, yeah, it might be a bit of daunting time for you at the minute, but I think soon things will get sorted out sooner rather than later. Well, hopefully, but I mean, I'm speaking from a neutral point of view, and at the minute, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying football. So that's what I can say on that. Is there anything you want to add on to this, Bill, before we move on?
Nah, not if I'm honest. It was a result that was expected from City, having Rodri back as well, everything like that. I think Man City were the clear favourites in this, and for a very good reason. 3-0. Yeah. Other than that, yeah.
Okay, so we got player of the weekend. Right. My player of the weekend is, and I will bring it up. Certain player of the weekend. Well, my player of the weekend is this guy here. Mr. Eddie Nketiah himself. I'm sorry, but he scored an hat-trick. Listen, I know it's Sheffield United. He scored 3 goals. I mean, fair play to him. I'll give credit where credit's due. Everybody, if you want to clip this or have your say on this or whatever, because I know I give this guy so much stick day in and day out, but I'm just going to give credit where credit's due. He scored an hat-trick. Have a close look at the picture because he might not be coming up next week against Newcastle. So that's all I'm going to say on that one. Billy, what's your player of the weekend and why?
It's the man you had on the screen. Funny enough, it was Eddie Nketiah after the hat trick. Obviously, it's not that impressive after a Sheffield United win. Do you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I think Arsenal were expected to win that anyway. But I think that he deserves it after a lot of hard time from Arsenal fans, especially. The hate they're showing him and saying that he's not good enough and that he's not a striker because he doesn't score goals. At the end of the day, he can score goals, but I also think that he's more than just a goal scorer, which a striker doesn't need to be anymore. So, yeah.
Okay. Just quickly go on. I have read your message, Billy, in the pro chat. What I'm just going to say is team of the weekend, I am going to pick Brentford. Bill, what's yours?
I've gone with Brentford as well. I think going away to Chelsea and beating them 2-0 again. Yeah.
Okay, mate. Right. Let's have a look. I'm just going to quickly read through the comments. I don't know what it is you want to do, Bill, but I'm just going to be a few minutes on the comments, all right?
Yeah, all good, mate.
Okay, mate. Okay, let's have a look. I'm just trying to catch up where I was to. I think it was this one here. Obviously, makes spot on the striker, has lots of goals and other than scoring goal. Yeah, we did read that one. I think the clue is in the striker's name. Yeah, we've done that one. Actually, we've done that right up into the pool. So that was that for the pool. Let's have a look. Here it is. AFC always. It was a training session from Man City. It was, mate. It was. From what I was reading throughout the game and the stats, the stats says it all really of that game. So it did seem like a training session to them. Geordie, literally, it became boring, boring derby, even boring than Merseyside derby. I suppose. Well, I suppose it was, mate. Yeah, definitely. We all need a striker who can be rush back goalie and a defender. Yes, I totally agree with you, Lawrence. Yes, and Ten Hag will get himself sacked. Yes, he most probably would. I mean, there is a bit of gloom and doom going on at the minute at Manchester United. He most probably will get himself sacked. It feels like it's like another Mourinho. Obviously when Manchester United appointed Jose Mourinho as a manager, and then obviously they bombed in, mate. It feels like with Ten Hag is sort of like going roughly down the same road as that again. But long hair GSC, he goes on and says, I hope we sign a goalkeeper that can score goals because they just don't have to keep goals anymore.
Look, long-haired Yeti, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. But at the end of the day, a striker doesn't need to be a goal scorer anymore. We saw it for Liverpool. Bobby Firmino wasn't a goal scorer. He left that down to Salah and Mane. He wasn't a goal scorer. Firmino was someone who would rather set up assists, playing more of a centre forward. But he was still playing striker.
Yeah, they're all saying big ups and all that. Yeah, long hair Jet. He's a mate of mine, Bill. I tell you what, he's a good laugh. He's good. He's fun. Have you been on the stream? I don't think you have been on the stream with him, have you? I'll have to try and get you both on. Together.
Yeah.
Geordie Ten Hag should have stayed at Ajax. Yeah, he should have. At least he would have been in the job much longer and playing better. Well, with a better team. This Nketiah lad is a great future. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see on that one. We'll see. Player of the weekend, 3 polls in so far. 67% is Son, 33% is Eddie Nketiah, and Haaland, and none. Well, there we go. All you need from a striker is to kiss the ball nowadays. Yes, that's it. Kiss the ball. Get his hat trick and kiss the ball. And that's it. And roll on next week. And then Jordy goes on to say after goes cooking. They're playing now, are they? He is trash. He should show up against Sheffield United for fuck's sake. He's guaranteed his lifetime contract with our shit fan base with that hat trick, sadly. Yes. Yeah. Do you know what? I if it happens, it happens. I could feel him getting slated again, Eddie Nketiah. I feel by next weekend he will get slated again, and that's it. That's the worst thing, Cole. He got credit on his thing again now. Exactly, Yeti. Our fans are generally they're having a chat and having a laugh between themselves. They're in the personal chat, what I'm in as well. These guys are seriously they're fun. They're fun to be with. You are a new age football fan. You pussyfoot about football. I think. Don't see any. What's that? Did anyone see Harry Kane's halfway goal for Bayern? No, I didn't. Did you see it, Bill?
Yeah, he chipped the keeper from the halfway line. The keeper came out and was about just past the 18-yard box, and Kane hit it from the halfway line.
Oh, right. Oh, fair play. And Cole Rossi, he won't turn up against Newcastle. Obviously, he's on about the
the Nketiah to play against.
Eddie Nketiah. So we've done all that now. So we've done pretty much everything on here. We're going to go to the last bit now. So we're going to go to the favorite bit of the show.
Can I just before we do? Can I highlight a game that we haven't discussed, which I thought was mental? Everton beating West Ham 1-0.
Oh right, yeah. I knew Miss probably said if you want to talk a little bit about that was a shocker. That was.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to discuss too much on it. Just highlight the fact that Everton managed to get 3 points away to West Ham, which I think is mental.
Yeah. So everybody in the chat, I don't know if you've done this, but if you wanted to get your player in of the weekend, who you thought your player of the weekend was, and your team of the weekend, and then also now is prediction time. So what we're going to do, me and Bill are going to predict the scores for the football next week. So here we go. Right, Billy, I'll let you go first, mate, on this one. Right, next week, Fulham are at home, and they have Man United.
I reckon it's going to be 1-0.
1-0. 1-0. And you know what? I've actually gone for the same 1-0 as well. I put mine down before yours, but I've gone for the same. This one, I've already got my score in. All right. This is Brentford for their home to West Ham United.
Brentford at home to West Ham?
Yes.
I'm going to go with a... I'm actually going to go with another 1-0.
Oh, you were lucky. I actually went for a draw. I went 2-2 on that one. Went 2-2. And the next game, Burnley, they're home to Crystal Palace.
I think, in my opinion, it's going to be 2-1 Palace.
2-1 Palace. And you know what?
You agree?
I actually agreed with that one, 2-1 Palace. This one's going to be a bit of an interesting one after today's. Now they beat West Ham 1-0, Everton, and they're home. They're home to Brighton.
Ooh. I'm going to go with a 2-0 Brighton.
2-0 Brighton.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 2-1 to Brighton. Right. I have written my scoreline down in this next one as well. They're at home. Right. They won the Manchester Derby today. Man City, they're home. They're home to Bournemouth.
I think it's going to be a 4-1 City.
Ooh, 4-1. I actually went 4-0. I went 4-0. Right. Well, we've already talked about this team today. They're at home, Sheffield United, and they've got Wolves.
Wolves. I'm going to go Wolves 2-0.
God, you fucking son of a bitch. Yeah, I've gone 2-0. Actually, I'm going to change mine. Sod it. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to stick 2-0 because I think he's injured at the minute with a hamstring, isn't he? Their best player, Pedro Neto. They're talking that he's carrying a hamstring injury, so
yeah,
he might not feature in that one. Right. Newcastle versus Arsenal.
At home, Newcastle at home, aren't they?
Newcastle are at home, yeah. St James's, yeah.
I'm actually going to go 3-1 Arsenal.
Are you? Right. I'm just going to quickly gander through the comments because I don't know if there's not. So do you know what? I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal. I'll go 2-1 Arsenal. I don't think there's going to be any high goal scoring ones apart from Man City. to be honest with you. Now this is one, and I know he's in the chat. Yeti, this is one for you as well. Forest, this is his team. They're home to Aston Villa. Yeah, he's going to turn around and say 12. He's going to say 12-0 Villa or something like that. Yeti, what have you got?
Villa 3-1.
3-1 Villa. Okay. I've gone 2-1 Villa. And this was the other one. This is the last one of the weekend, but we might put Monday's game in. I don't know. So Luton, they're home to Liverpool.
I'm going to go with a Liverpool.
Don't you dare.
3-1.
Okay, cool.
No, 3-0.
3-0.
Yeah.
I went 4-0. So I heard you go. I'm thinking he's got the same as me. Right. Do you know what? I'm not going to put it down. But on Monday night, because this is the weekend show, but Monday night is Tottenham versus Chelsea, right? What is your prediction for that one, Bill? I'll tell you what. Why don't you give what is your prediction, and tell us what you think might happen in the game in that one, and that'd be a perfect roundup of the show then.
I feel like we're going to get smacked off the park, but Chelsea have a record of performing against the bigger teams. We saw it against Arsenal, we saw it against Liverpool. So there's a part of me that thinks that we will be able to try and get a point out of this. My score prediction is going to be 1-0, I think.
1-0.
Yeah.
So Tottenham 1, Chelsea 1, Monday night. Do you know what? There's one thing I've noticed. I think you could be right, because I've noticed that when teams play on a Monday night, there's not a lot of goals, is there, on a Monday night?
I also think, in my opinion as well, Tottenham have such a great attack, but I don't know. I can't say anything positive about Chelsea Football Club at the minute.
No.
There's nothing positive apart from our track record this season of performing well and drawing against Liverpool and Arsenal. So I can only hope that continues, or if not, we get a win.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think if I was to do, I think I'll most probably go. I don't know. I just think Tottenham are playing well at the minute, and it is going to catch up with them. They're just going to gradually, dip. But when I say dip, I think they're finishing the top 4 in the Champions League, definitely. But I just feel like their time will be up soon. But I mean, with them being top light sort of thing, just enjoy it.
Yeah,
just enjoy it. That's all I'm going to say. Let's just hit a couple of comments. Actually, none of the Arsenal players will turn up against us, to be honest. Well, it could be. It definitely could be. Mate, I got Bowen in my fantasy Premier League. That was just a shocker from Everton. Jordy, I've got him in my fantasy league as well. Do you know what? I think that's going to be a good thing to do. Actually, I'm gonna suggest something to Matt for next season. Player of the weekend. The 4 polls are in. 50% Son, 50% Eddie Nketiah, and Alan. I mean, 0%. 0%. Have you voted on that one yet, Bill?
Nah, not on that one.
Yeah, you said Eddie Nketiah is good and has a great future. Laugh out loud. Right, now it goes into there. He's got Georgia's gone, Fulham 2, Man United 2. Then he goes on to say, yeah, has a future, but not against us. Laugh out loud. Yes, you may. And then he goes on to say, Burnley 0, Palace 1. Longer Jesse says Georgie, he's shite. And then there's going to be... I actually went off key on this one. But yeah, I'm all fingers and thumbs today. And Geordie goes, and then he goes 3-1 Brighton. And then Geordie goes on to say City 5-0. And then long out Jesse says, who's going to score the goals through the strike? He's winding you up, Bill. He's winding you up. Geordie, Sheff United 1, Wolves 3. And then Longer Jetty says, or will the striker be in goal? And then it says, see, this is exactly why I cringe whenever our clearly shit, god, awful players actually have an okay/good performance. The modern day fans gets gassed and stuck to their bed sheets. Eddie Nketiah equals dog shit. End of. Well, yeah, do you know what? I'm not going to disagree with that, and I won't disagree with that. If anything, I would like him to prove me wrong, prove all the doubters and the haters wrong. But at the minute, I know he scored an hat-trick against Sheffield United, and it is Sheffield United. But if he could do this day in and day out, then the likes myself and other people, fans, would most probably give credit where credit's due and give him that little bit more credit and more. But at the minute, it's only Sheffield United. And long AC spot on car. Geordie goes on to say Newcastle 2, Arsenal 1. Geordie, what's going on, mate? Oh, no, you got back your own. As is Havertz, Martin Noonan, and Shevchenko. Oh, God. Forest 1, Villa 4. This is what Geordie's going for. And then long-hair Jesse goes on to say, tough one to be honest, but we'll score. Chelsea guy, will it will it the striker or the goalkeeper? He's on about will it be the striker or the goalkeeper? And then Jordy goes on to say, Luton 8, Liverpool 0. We can wish, can't we? We can dream. And then we don't lose at home, so draw against Villa. That's okay then. And then Cole Rossi goes on to say, battle's going to be London. And then Jordy goes on to say, this is the one here. It goes on to say, Tottenham 1, Chelsea 1. Richard's in the house. Evening, lads. Big up, bro. How you doing? You've had a good holiday. And then Matt goes on and says, thanks for tuning in. Smash all the likes if you can, please. Yes, we will. Make sure everybody make sure you like, subscribe, and also listen, if you can share it. But don't forget, press that notification bell. Always press it. And he goes on and says, not a lot of goals on Monday nights because the strikers has played as fullbacks. Oh God, this is a bit of comedy tonight, isn't it? Longer Keith, yeah, Cole's laughing at him. Oh, sorry, Bill. I'm sorry, mate. I've given up on predictions. I couldn't predict you at the tax office. Spurs will beat Chelsea like we did. Oh God. Good holiday and crap weekend football-wise. Okay, yeah. He's probably on about, obviously, he's a Man United fan, my bro. Man United fan, so that's it. So, yeah, that's it, folks. We come to the end of the show. I just want to say thanks for all the people for all your comments. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribe. Press that notification bell as well if you haven't, because we'll be here next Sunday with me, Bill. We'll probably get one other guest. My brother Rich, if you want to come on, just message me if you want to come on next Sunday. You can give this guy Bill, give him some stick. But yes, but that's it. Everybody enjoy your Sunday, what's left of it. Bill, do you want to give yourself a shout out, mate, where people can find you?
Yeah, so you can go on my TikTok, Billy Talks Ball. You can see me on Friday nights on the United Agenda on the Friday Night Takeaway show at 10 p.m. Or you can see me here on Sundays between 6, 7, or 8 p.m. whenever we start the show until 9 when we finish.
Yeah. Okay, mate. Yeah. And also, you did mention on here as well, didn't you? Yeah, you did. Yeah. Bill's going to be my sidekick on my house as well. So, obviously you're going to get used to him being on here. Good lad, Bill. Just keep it real, mate. He's enjoy having you on the show, mate. Seriously, it is. And listen, we just does the show. We say it how it is. If we have a little bit of a debate, we can have a bit of debate. We can take the piss. We can all have a laugh, and we can all have fun. Listen, to me, that's what makes a stream go, is brilliantly. So apart from that, I'm off. Everybody enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next time. Ta-ra.